everybody. It's that time again. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about it's time to start planning for your spring garden. Now is the perfect time to start planning because in my area, we have a 2 to 2.5 month window before it's actually time to start planting in ground. So if there's projects that you want to do, building raised beds, building cold frames, amending your garden soil, now's the time to do it. Now's the time to figure out what you want to grow, how much you want to grow, and look back on last year's successes and failures and figure out how to make adjustments this year. A good example of that would be this past year, I planted 2 rows of rattlesnake pole beans. Now, I've tried to grow these before and I've had success with them, but not to the level I did this past year. Of course, this past year, I amended my garden with a truckload of rabbit manure and a truckload of, actually I believe it was 2 truckloads of soil amendment. And I mulched everything. I added peat moss in there. So I amended it really heavily, and I was not prepared for the explosion of growth that came from all of that amendment. So that 2 rows of pole beans that would have been enough in past years, this year it produced so much that I was able to give some away. I canned a lot, I froze a lot, I picked some and cooked them fresh off the vine several nights, and I gave family and friends a lot of beans, and I still had beans hanging on the vine. I let a lot of them dry for seed, but I've got more seed than I'll need, and there was still a lot that went to waste, and I don't like waste, not in the garden. So this year I'm gonna, instead of planting 2 rows of pole beans, I'm only gonna plant 1. And that's good because that will actually, forgive that noise, I've got a neighbor doing some remodeling in the house next door and he's running an air compressor. But anyway, I'm only gonna plant 1 row of pole beans this year, which is good because now that space that was taken up by that 2nd row last year is gonna be free for me to plant something else. My corn didn't do that good at all. Actually, it didn't do anything last year. And I'm thinking it might have been where I placed it in the garden. It was a little too shady, not enough sunlight. So that's a change that I need to make. I want to grow some corn this year, so I'm gonna try to grow it in a different location where it'll get a better exposure to the sun. Where I had the corn, I found out that there's a tree nearby that shades it for a good portion of the morning every morning. So I'm thinking that's where I'm gonna move my lettuce and broccoli and things like that, because it'll give them more protection from the sun. They might do better for a longer period of time throughout the year. These are adjustments that I've decided to make based on how my garden performed last year. And now's the time to be planning that. Now's the time to be thinking about it. If you want to do raised beds this year, now's the time. It's the perfect time to be building those beds and filling them. If you want to build cold frames for starting seeds, this is a perfect time to be doing that. And that is something I'm going to be doing sometime this week. I'll be starting a couple of cold frames, probably towards the end of the week. And that'll still give me sufficient time to start some seed and harden them off before planting time. There's a lot that can be done right now, and you need to really take advantage of this time to plan and get things done. There's not anything growing now. You can't really grow anything unless you have a greenhouse. So this is the perfect time to get things done. If you want to build a greenhouse, your best time to be building that is not now, because by the time you get it done, depending on the area you live in, it's going to be too hot to grow inside that greenhouse. at least in my area, that greenhouse is going to get over 100 degrees in the middle of the day, well over 100 degrees. So it'll cook anything you have in there. So that's a project that needs to be started at the end of summer or early fall of this year to prepare for next year. This year though, cold frames, raised beds, if you're going to do potting, get those pots ready. If you're going to mulch, be thinking about that. If you're going to amend the soil, you can go ahead and be doing that. Buy seeds. Now's the perfect time to be buying your seeds. Look for seed catalogs. Go to farm supply stores, see what they have. Look online. There's places online that sell hard to find heirloom seeds. This is, I keep saying it over and over and over, I know, but this is the perfect time to get all of this stuff done. So do something. Make sure you get something done this year. It's really important. It's actually, in a lot of ways, at least in my opinion, it's more important to do that now, this year, than any other year. Food prices continue to go up. There were 3 or 4 different food manufacturers that announced that they're raising their prices by anywhere from 15 to 30% starting this month. That's the 3rd or 4th price increase in the past year. Inflation is causing food prices to constantly go up, and this is not going to be the last time food prices are going to go up. It's going to continue to happen through 2022, and it'll probably happen on into 2023 as well. Shortages on available items. You're going to see those shortages throughout this year and into next year, because there's a lot of people that don't want to work. There's a lot of people that can't work because of the local mandates and company mandates, things of that nature. The big C going around and all that. There's a lot of disruptions, and right now our food supply system is so strained that even unexpected winter weather can be disastrous. And coming spring storms, floods, all of that's going to happen. And summer is going to be droughts. All of that can still happen. And with our food supply system so strained right now and so weakened, it doesn't take much to cause a major shortage. So it's more important than ever that you try to produce at least a portion of your own food. Produce what you can, as much as possible, and that'll save you money on what you do have to buy at the store. What you grow, you need to be dehydrating it, freezing it, canning it, whatever you can. But I'm telling you folks, it's really important. You need to produce your own food, and you need to be stocking it up. It's going to be critical this year and next year. All right, that's all I've got right now. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.